But 10 years, y'all, come on. And the craziest thing, those of you who have been to jail, y'all aren't calling. That's fine. 866-801-8255. I don't blame you, even though you're semi-anonymous here. Those of you who have been to jail, who are not 6'7", who speak English in an English-speaking prison, you also have to factor in that they gave her things to sign in Russian. Now, one could argue you've been playing in Russia for X amount of years. You should know how to read, write, and speak Russian fluently. At least I feel that way. And it's a teachable moment for all of us who spend time in other countries. It would behoove us to learn the language. Shout out to Dr. Tasha, who's been on the show talking about languages. We should know the places that we go because that makes us very vulnerable for everything. Now, Russia doesn't have inalienable rights. Not that prison in America has those either, by the way. Your body is not your own. It's enslavement, which was the thing that I watched today. A lot of these women go to camps where they work, forcible labor, and you don't have a choice. There's overtime. You don't have a choice. They abuse you. They may torture you. When I'm looking at the cells, half the size of what the cells are in America because they have an overcrowding problem in Russia. You know what else they also have? A disease problem in Russia. There's a preponderance of HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis. They have COVID, lots of COVID, because prisoners have no rights and they don't give a damn. Now, I'm hoping because Brittney Griner is a national figure, an international figure now, that maybe she will not be in a space where she'll be tortured, mistreated, abused, and possibly, stuffed into cells with people because they're overcrowded way more than America. Actually, Russia has the most incarcerated people than any place in Europe. Now, America has the most than any place in the world. We incarcerate more people, but we also have certain inalienable rights. We have laws, we have people. Clay Cane does a whole series on Exonerated. We have groups here that get people out, even if it's, a long period of time. People like Maya Moore, her compadre in the WNBA, got somebody out of jail, ended up marrying him. It was an amazing story. But I'm just sitting here like she's 6'7", and say they put her in a barracks. The beds aren't even 6 feet because they're made for women. Most women are not even 6 feet. I'm 5'10", complaining on an airplane about not enough leg room. I'm not 6'10". I'm not 6 feet. She's 6'7". And I'm thinking about her period. I'm thinking about, they don't have like good hygiene there. Like once a week, maybe women can shower. Y'all, come on. 9 years. Now, I believe there may be a prisoner swap, but damn. So I don't know what the teachable moment here is outside of like when we travel. I don't know. I don't know what the moment is. I don't. I just know that this is unfair. I feel some ways. I watched several videos today because I wanted to, feel something more than what I already felt, because I'm already like, ugh. Because that's, I think, is the problem in this world, that people do not put themselves in the skin of others, in the places of others. And we sit in judgment of others because, a lot of us are on high horses. I hope you're riding bareback. A lot of us are on high horses where we feel like, I would never do that. I would never do that. And maybe you wouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't. But she did. 9 years? Really? 866 of her life. Now, I've been here less than 8 years, and it feels like an eternity. Well, actually, they went by really quickly. But the point I'm making is during this 8-year period, I had freedom to do a lot of things in my life. I've done many other things other than this, started a couple other businesses, I've done some other things, traveled, done some stuff, COVID happened, like there's been a lot of life lived in this short period of time that I've been on these airwaves. Can you imagine 9 years in a Russian prison? And so I want to start off this way because I want everybody listening to my voice to imagine 9 years in a Russian prison. I just want you to sit in that space for a minute and give some grace to Brittney Griner and her family. And no matter what you feel about her coming into a foreign country with cannabis in her bag, she doesn't deserve this. 866-801-8255. That said, I think 99% maybe 8% of people in prison here probably deserve it. They did something. She does not deserve that. And she did do something. 9 years. So I'm gonna go to the phones. 866-801-8255. Before I do, let me say happy birthday to Jameson. Happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday. He's off. I know he's off today, but we started this journey 7 and change years ago, and Jameson was an integral part to the planning and the shaping of what the show was going to be. And I'm glad that he's with Clay Kane out there in Clay Nation, which I felt was going to be great for Clay. Clay needed, as he was making his journey, somebody with experience and wisdom, because that's what you do when you build. You build, making sure everybody is taken care of. That's what that looks like. That's what community looks like. Everybody has to be taken care of. So happy birthday, Jameson. I'm going to go to the phones. Welcome in Bishop, who's calling from Pennsylvania. Hi.
Good afternoon, Professor Hunter. There's another prisoner over there, Fogler, and there's mounting support here in Pennsylvania that we now, first of all, I want Brittney home. I want all of them home. But we got to have Fogler on the table along with her and Waylon. The two other bozos that went over there and fought for Ukraine from America, because that's an uneven swamp for this idiot that we got over here that is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths of Americans, Europeans, and Africans. Now, this is where I thought the Congressional Black Caucus that they needed to do their work. Everybody's putting pressure on Biden. I believe he's trying, Professor Hunter. However, you as a journalist, Russia doesn't care nothing about that. Matter of fact, they actually love it. They had their individual in there, Trump, which they would like to get back in. I just want, the WNBA and others to take a chill pill, let them try to work it out if they can. We know that she's been held as a political prisoner. Now, I would like to ask you a question as well, too.
Sure.
And I love Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid. Mm-hmm. But you interviewed Malcolm X, who I love, Malcolm X, mm-hmm. Nance, rather. One of the foremost intelligence officers.
We all know who he is. All right, ask your question, Bishop. We got a full line of people who want to get through.
To fight with the Ukrainians.
Uh-huh.
Now, what kind of ransom do you think that he would get if he was to get captured? And nobody has said nothing to Brother Nance and say, listen, you need to stay home, brother.
Well, he's.
I don't get that.
What's your question? What's your question?
For Brittney and the rest of
what is your question?
Be a fair exchange.
Jesus. All right. Can he hear me? Are you just talking, Bishop? Bishop. All right, bring him down. Damn. Like, damn.
Come on, Patty. Patty.
Now I'm not even answering your question because you clearly, want to just talk. So go ahead with that. I'm moving on. Harper in New York. The hell.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Now, can you hear me?
Thing that I don't quite. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Perfectly.
I just want to be clear that I'm being heard.
I understand. I work radio. I totally understand.
Okay. All right.
I'm a long-time listener, and I've called a bunch of times too, so I know how you operate.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let me just make one correction. Let me make one correction. I think he's talking about the arms dealer. Tens of thousands, or he said hundreds of thousands. I think that's like millions of people. The arms dealer has killed a lot of people, and he's sentenced to 25 years. But I don't think he killed. And I just, sure he killed a lot of people. He's an arms dealer. I'm sure his arms. Well, maybe they did. So I'm gonna move on. All right. I'm sorry, Harper. Go ahead.
All right, understood. So my thing that I don't understand is how come people are so willing to accept that Brittney did these things that they claim that she did. The way I see it, we can't trust the police departments here in America, and we know we sure as heck can't trust the ones in Russia. And we know, like you said, that she had a signed document that she could not understand. So, and we also know that the fact that she signed, she admitted to doing it to help the process along, according to what our State Department said. So why should we believe that she actually did anything wrong? It's amazing to me that so many people, because I've gotten arguments with people about this. Well, she did this. I'm like, no, that's what they said she did. And I just don't understand why everyone's.
Because when you start arguing somebody else's argument, you've already lost. Let's say she did it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether she did it or didn't do it. She's sentenced to 9 years in jail. Yes, we knew it was strategy for her to, plead guilty and try to get some leniency and try to, maneuver the system. But this is a geopolitical landmine. This has nothing to do with vaping. It has nothing to do with marijuana. It has everything to do with power. And right now, Russia, Ukraine, and what's happening with Europe and NATO and what's going on in the United freaking States is in the crosshairs of this Brittney Griner situation. And anybody that thinks this is about vaping pens, you are really, really dumb. This has nothing to do with that. We got a really big fish and the world is watching. And I know, WNBA, don't stop talking. No, people in politics, the Black Caucus, don't stop talking. Don't stop bringing up Brittney Griner's name. Why? Because we live in a global world. We live in a global, that's redundant, a society where public opinion matters, even in Russia. This could get to the Russian people. They can apply pressure. Yes, they don't have many rights, but I damn sure know that uprisings happen. They happen in the strangest of ways, and being silent and letting people, let everything play out. No, silence is acquiescence. We will not shut up. I will not shut up. I don't think Brittney Griner's family will shut up, nor should they. The WNBA shouldn't shut up. The NBA should definitely not shut up. Everybody, LeBron and everybody, keep talking. Keep bringing up her name and keep talking. That sunshine is the biggest disinfectant that we have right now. No, we should not be quiet. And I don't care whether she had, I'm not even going to get into that discussion with anybody. Or she shouldn't have, she shouldn't be sentenced to 9 years and be used as a political football, period. Felicia in Los Angeles. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Karen. Thank you for taking my call. I'm mostly just calling because earlier you had mentioned no one's calling who's actually been in jail. And I think I'm calling, and as someone who, it was probably the worst experience of my life. I would never wish that upon my worst enemy. I can't imagine being in a foreign city, foreign country, and being incarcerated. And to think, like you just brought up, Iman Shumpert traveling, she had less than a gram of cannabis on her. Granted, it is a foreign country, but still, as much as she has done for that country and done in that country, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense because we are having to trade an arms dealer for a gram of cannabis. It really is insane.
Completely insane. And thank you for sharing. Fella in Texas, and then I'm gonna bring in my guest. Fella, welcome. Hi.
Yes, good afternoon, Professor Hunter. How are you?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
I'm awesome. I just love you and Dr. Carr. Like, oh my goodness. I've spoken to you before, and one of the times I was speaking with you and Gaffney were there, we were talking about the incarceration system in Texas. I'm 6'5", wow. Over 300 pounds, and it is not a pleasant experience. Texas, their prison system, the mass incarceration, the forced labor, it's like the worst, one of the worst in the United States of America. And unfortunately, I've been in there, several times. It finally took a while before I got it together. But once I began, getting hip to what's going on and the money that they're making off of us, these people are making like multiple millions of dollars off of us, having us build office furniture, cabinets. They have different units that are set up for different occupations, like a textile unit where you're making clothes and carpet.
Guess what, fella? It's enslavement. But for the 13th Amendment, but for incarceration. They can do whatever they want with your labor at that point. Louisiana has cotton fields where prisoners pick cotton. How poignant is that in 2022? But fella, you did what you did. You paid your time. You went to jail at 6'5", 300 plus pounds. Walk us through the experience. Were you in a single cell? Were you in a barracks?
For the most part, and you're in like they're big dormitories with a whole lot of beds, and they don't really care about height and size and stuff. They'll put you on a top bunk in a minute, where you're having to climb up and down these bunks. Now, maybe if you have a particular medical issue or something and it gets documented, they can give you what they call a bottom bunk restriction. But other than that, they don't too much care about your size. And you are, small and cramped. It's really close quarters. You might be sharing a room with 54 other people. Everyone's breathing on each other. You take showers with 10 or 12 other people. And
where's the bathroom, fella, in an open situation like that?
they're right next to the showers. You might have, and they don't have stalls. So you have a bunch of toilets all lined up next to each other. So you're expected to sit there on the toilet with some person maybe a foot away from you. And all of the showers are like right there. And you have people of a reprobate mind that like to look, they like to look at other men's bodies. And you may be trying to take a shower and they'll come sit on the toilet just so that they can watch you shower. There's some very predatory behavior going on in there. Everybody's not right in their mind.
Well, to say the least, we've seen the stories. Your worst experience because of your size when you were locked up?
A lot of the guards used to kind of, like get off on cramming me into spaces, pushing me into spaces and stuff like that, especially with the shower thing. The laundry, a lot of times it's the laundry because they'll say, well, we don't have clothes that'll fit you. So whereas I may need a 4X or a 5X something, a lot of times I would get like maybe a 2X or a 3X or something. And they'll say, come back next week. And then I have to kind of walk around for a week, all squeezed into my clothes with
belly
stuff,
shirt,
poking out.
Yeah, no, I see it. Well, fella, first of all, before I let you go, what did it take for you to turn it around, for you never to go back?
I was just finally tired. This last go around, I was actually facing jurisdiction in the state of Arkansas and 2 different places in Texas. And it was all really heavy. Any one of those 3 could have given me a very lengthy sentence, but I really believe it was by the grace of God. I got small sentences for all 3 of them, and they ran concurrently. And that was just time for me to get my mind right. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to hustle trying to pay bills and feed myself and clothe myself, that kind of thing. All of that was being taken care of. So it really gave me time to do some introspection and reflection and just ask myself, what do you want? What do you want out of life? I'm 48. I'll be 49 in September. I've been in and out of the Texas prison system in some form or fashion, or even the county jail, since I was at least 18 or 19. And that was 20 or 30 years just wasted. But it's like once they get their hands on you, they've got you. Because anytime they pull you over now and they see that you've been in the system, let's pull the broken tail light, or let's pull the odor of marijuana trick on them, as an excuse to, do that kind of thing. And they're still picking cotton in Texas too, and they don't pay you. Whereas a lot of those other states will pay you a pittance, a few cents an hour or something. Texas doesn't pay anything. They just work you and say, hey, this is what you get. We got you. We're not letting you go. And even once you get out and they give you parole or that kind of thing, it's still set up for you to fail and come back in. The odds are really stacked against you. But I completed parole in May of this year, May 6th. I'm completely off. I got a minister's license. I graduated from Bishop Jakes' Tory program. Okay. I got married to a wonderful woman. She's a minister also. So it's official. I've officially turned it around.
All right, listen, won't he do it? Listen, fella, thank you so much for sharing all of that and, the inspiration at the end, because it's never too late to have your life back on track, or to have your life and your freedom. Thank you for that. Let me welcome our guest in. We just talked with him about this book that he wrote about Rickey Henderson called Rickey. That's his latest book. He's done a bunch of books, Hank Aaron. He's done books on a lot of sports figures. But I want to talk with him about this case today. So let me welcome back journalist and author Howard Bryant. Welcome. Hi.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm
not great.
Okay.
I'm not great. I'm okay.
All right. Talk about what you're feeling right now.
Well, I am listening to your show, And I was up in the hills earlier today, and I didn't have any service. And so when I came back down into civilization, I saw the sentence. And it is everything that we expected. It was everything that you sort of feared, and all of the political machinations, as you brought up earlier, all of this is all part of this. But that doesn't change anything. That doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any less unjust, and it doesn't make it any less painful. If anything, I've heard the arguments, and I've been reading the stories about how this is the first step to her coming home. Is it? I mean, we will see. And so, yeah, it's been real rough. And I also think about, I mean, you're right. I mean, this is I heard you talk earlier about, the whole should have known better piece of it. It's very disturbing to me. I mean, we live in a country of traitors anyway, that there's a number of people who are sort of happy that this has happened to her, and that they're taking this side of, she broke the law in another country, and there's that. But I think the other piece of it that hits me as well is these athletes, man, I don't know what the support system is. I don't know what the advanced scouting was. I don't know from everything that I had heard about how some of this works, that when you're one of the superstar players coming in from the, being sort of imported in, in mid-season or whatever, because the, WNBA players don't make a lot of money, so they need to go overseas to make their money, that they've got this sort of concierge lane where they can kind of do what they do. Whoever is running that concierge lane had to let everybody know that the political calculations are different.
Right.
And that things are hot right now. And that lane, if anything goes down with that lane, cannot protect you.
Okay. I'm glad that you brought that up, because I brought up Iman Shumpert, who should know better than to go to a Texas airport with a bunch of marijuana in America, right? Some would say, as you're saying this, I'm also thinking that there's a coddled way in which athletes are treated in this nation, where far too many, get to. I want to talk to you about that football player too, who had all of those massage.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes, and now they're still like, no, but he's a good quarterback though, and he hasn't been convicted. However, we all know. So there's two things going on here, and I'm also thinking politically, if Biden, because it's going to be on him, doesn't bring Brittney Griner home, are Black people going to hold him accountable? Because this hits differently for Black people. I feel like for us, it's different. It's not just, a basketball player. It's a Black woman in a Russian prison. I don't know.
6'8" Black queer woman in a country that is extremely, extremely hostile toward all the above.
6'8", queer Black woman. Yes, all of that. Let's suss this out when we come back. And I'm just curious. I want to ask this too. We're in similar age range. I'm
20 years older than you.
You are not. You're not. Same age. I don't remember a lot of things growing up, but anxiety, and then having to take weed for anxiety. First of all, nobody could smoke weed. It was illegal until quite recently, in the last 5 years. And the country has changed. I've always been for the legalization of marijuana. I never smoked it. In college, it was rampant, of course. I just have always been a person that, not for any reason, I didn't judge it. If it was, something that I thought might have been good, I would have tried it maybe. But I was like, I don't understand. Y'all acting real crazy.
Me neither. I hate it.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like how it smells.
I'll be honest with you, Karen. I hate it. And I voted for it here in Massachusetts. Yeah. And the reason why I can't stand it is because of the cynicism that comes with it. The reason why I voted for the legalization of it is because of proportionality. Why are we putting all these people in jail for something so stupid as this? That was the reason. But the flip side of this is the idea that this is harmless. And I constantly try to tell my son, I tell him all the time, listen, this is a money game. We live in a vice economy. Right? And in a vice economy, you have gambling is now legal. Weed is now legal. right? Alcohol has been like sin taxes. This is how things are getting paid for. That doesn't mean this is good for you. That don't mean this is healthy for you. And you're being used. You're being eaten alive by this. Now, I'm not saying you can't go out, get high, have some fun or whatever. I smoked weed. Everyone has done what they've done, right? But the way this is being sold is being sold in a way that is going to destroy black people.